It's Christmas Eve in the town of Angel Falls, and David is dragged away from his family by his boss Henry for some business. Henry is an ambitious businessman who wants to build a luxurious shopping mall without caring about historical landmarks, and he only needs to buy one last property to start: Roger's house. David and Henry go to see Roger to try to convince him to sell his property, but Roger refuses because the house has been in his family for generations and he wants to leave it to his granddaughter Kara. Later, after everyone is gone, Roger hears a knock and opens the door to find a snowman. Suddenly, a masked man known as the Angel jumps through the snow and tackles Roger to kill him with a knife. Kara picks up Winnie, David's daughter, so they can attend the party together. In the interim, after getting together with more friends, Kara waves and snaps a number of photos of Bernie, who is sitting by herself. However, her friends chastise her for engaging with the weirdo in the class. Jimmy, Kara's brother, has also arrived for the celebration. He walks outside to kiss his partner close to the woods, but they stop when they hear something moving in the trees. When the guys decide to depart, it becomes clear that the angel was the source of the noise. Kara seeks a private place to kiss her boyfriend as well, but all of a sudden, he spits blood into her mouth. She finds out as she takes a step back that the angel stabbed him with a huge candy cane. Kara starts to run away while screaming, but the angel follows and tries to stab her. The angel vanishes as she falls on the bridge while she tries to defend herself, and the knife wounds her arm. But he soon launches another attack by stabbing from beneath the bridge, so Kara takes off fleeing and makes her way to the house, only to discover that the door is closed from the inside. The partygoers can only stare through the door window as the angel appears behind her and starts to stab her repeatedly. All the teens scream and go away in panic, but Winnie rushes out to help. Sadly, it's too late. Kara is already dead and the angel attacks Winnie next. As her camera drops and breaks, Winnie hits the angel on the face before running into the woods. She tries hiding behind a tree, but the angel quickly finds her and gets ready to stab her, only to suddenly be tackled by Jimmy. A fight ensues and the angel kicks Jimmy away, so the siblings use the chance to run away. Unfortunately, the angel is fast and attacks Jimmy again, so Winnie takes the jumper cables from the Christmas lights and electrocutes the angel to death. Afterward, she takes the mask off and discovers it's Henry. A year later, Winnie is still grieving over Kara and coming to terms with the fact that she killed someone, while Jimmy is contentedly working with David. Her situation has gotten worse when she was turned down by the university of her choice. The town's residents, including her family, have gone on, and Winnie finds the holiday spirit bothersome. Buck, Henry's brother, approaches her while she is walking down the street and declares his desire for retribution before fleeing. When it comes time to exchange gifts, Winnie is unhappy to discover that Jimmy receives his own truck and her family has gotten her a terrible tracksuit. She finally snaps and calls them out, hurt by the fact they act like nothing happened last Christmas, but they tell her to get over it. At that moment, she gets a few messages from her boyfriend Robbie, who invites her to a Christmas party. She immediately heads there and after saying hi to Bernie, she looks for Robbie, only to find him cheating on her with Darla. Robbie tries to make up an excuse, but Darla reveals this has been going on for a year and she's glad it's finally out. Furious, she leaves the party and ends up at a bridge, where she's surprised to see Aurora Borealis in the sky. Tired of everything, Winnie wishes she was never born, which causes the aurora to disappear and the town lights to go out. Confused, she looks around, only to suddenly find a dying person who just got killed by the angel. She immediately runs away and breaks a truck's window to use the radio, only to be found by Buck, who has somehow become sheriff and doesn't recognize her. She asks about the previous sheriff, but Buck says he was killed a year ago. Apparently the angel has been killing lots of people since then. Winnie, who is now even more perplexed, tries to identify the angel at that very moment, but Henry shows there to offer assistance. She keeps her mouth shut and flees when she learns that he is now the mayor and treats her like an outsider. When she finally arrives at her residence, no one knows who she is either. To make matters worse, Jimmy passed away at the previous Christmas celebration due to an attack by the angel. Winnie comes to the realization that she wasn't born into this world and that the angel wasn't there to stop her. Winnie is upset and starts to dash through the city, discovering that there are curfews and graffiti all over the place. Since Henry became mayor, his face is everywhere and nobody is happy living here. He even built the shopping mall. Afterward, she goes to the usual Christmas party, but this time it isn't cheerful. The place is dark and everyone is consuming illegal uppers or getting into fights. Nobody knows her here either, and Robbie and Darla have been together for 3 years. After failing to get Bernie to recognize her, Winnie enters a room and discovers Robbie and Darla have been having the lovely relationship she never had with him. She also finds a yearbook that is missing her picture, confirming she's truly gone. 2 teenagers are smoking pipes nearby and watching the Christmas lights. The angel takes advantage of the moment to appear with an axe and begins pursuing the lad. When the female briefly enters, the man tries to slow down by pushing objects behind him, but ultimately a gate blocks his path, and the angel strikes him with the axe. The youngster avoids death from the hit and tosses a plant at the murderer before fleeing once more. However, the door is shut and no one can hear him because of the loud music, so he is unable to return to the party. After a tussle, the angel murders the boy and splatters blood all over the place. Moments later, The girl comes out again and screams when she finds the head in the snow. Back to Winnie. She sees on TV that there have been more murders, so she calls everyone out for partying in times like this and then leaves with Bernie. Eventually, they make it to Bernie's house and Winnie notices her new friend has been tracking the murders, so she explains her wish and that the angel is Henry. In return, Bernie points out that all the victims were the children of families with businesses and the grief caused those businesses to die. That's why Henry now owns the whole town. Bernie, on the other hand, is unsure whether to believe Winnie's bizarre tale and questions whether Winnie is the murderer, even reaching for a weapon to protect herself. The females attempt to flee when the angel suddenly breaks through the window, only to discover him at the door. Winnie bites his arm and knocks him into the table as he tries to grasp her, and the girls manage to flee. When they get to downtown, Bernie declares that she now believes Winnie, and they witness an aurora in the sky, which they argue couldn't have happened by coincidence because it shouldn't have been possible to see from this location. Afterward, they hide in the local movie theater because Bernie has the key since she works there. The girls have fun watching some movies and end up holding hands while Winnie falls asleep on Bernie's shoulder. In the morning, Bernie finds a room with lots of paperclips about the legend behind the aurora, so now they're sure that's what brought Winnie here. However, they also learn it's fading, meaning Winnie needs to go back before that happens or she'll be stuck here forever. The girls deduce Winnie has tackled the angel again, so they'll need the help of someone close to him. They return to her house, but David refuses to see her. After using a family secret to persuade Aunt Gail of Winnie's narrative, she is permitted inside, where she discovers David in a very despondent state. It feels as though he has lost his soul after losing Jimmy. David smiles once more as Winnie poses as Jimmy's friend and tells him some anecdotes. But David becomes enraged when she claims that Henry killed him because Henry is his best friend, and he throws Winnie out. As Winnie leaves, she discovers with disgust that her mother is an addict and that she openly cheats on her father in the house with other men. In the middle of the kitchen, the mother and her lover are killed by the angel, who reappears out of nowhere. The girls and Gail immediately run away, and as they get to the stairs, the angel manages to slash Bernie's arm. Winnie grabs a picture from the wall and hits the angel with it, causing him to fall downstairs and faint. Then Gail and Bernie carefully step over him to reach the front door, but when it's Winnie's turn, she stops to grab the knife. Instead of killing the angel, she decides to unmask him first and is shocked to discover David. At that moment, he regains consciousness, so the trio runs away. Later at the theater, Winnie explains she saw something in David's eyes that indicated he wasn't fully himself. Gail says he's been like that for a year, and the group realizes depression has allowed Henry to manipulate him and make him carry on with his dirty work. Winnie has no choice but to kill her father, so they make a plan. A few moments later, 3 dolls have been placed on the seats as bait, and the theater's billboard contains a message for David. Winnie almost uses her bat, but it's Robbie and Darla who come inside, and Gail uses the fire extinguisher to stop them. Gail is murdered by the angel while they are preoccupied, and the theater loses electricity. Before pursuing Robbie and killing him as well, Winnie witnesses the angel murdering Darla while using her outdated camera to take flash photos. Bernie manages to reach the power switches and turns them on, allowing Winnie to grab a broom and hit the angel with it. After that, she hides on the staircase, and she stabs the angel with the broken broom handle when he jumps on her. The girls return to the bridge after making sure Dave is dead beneath the mask, and Winnie makes a heartfelt wish to be born again after saying goodbye to Bernie. She yells at the aurora, which transforms its hues to appear more violent, but nothing occurs. The girls come to the conclusion that Henry needs to be killed, since he still poses a threat to the community in his capacity as mayor. Winnie and Bernie visit Henry's Christmas celebration at the main park. The natives' blurry eyes show that they are under his authority as they watch him. When Buck asks to be transferred to a different town to work, Henry deems him naughty and kills him in front of everyone. Subsequently, Buck dons the angelic attire and is suspended as an ornament. Winnie makes futile attempts to awaken people, and when the girls are brought to the stage by Henry's bodyguards, he confesses that he killed Jimmy in order to keep David under control and that he is the reason Bernie lost her parents. The girls snap and start repeatedly punching Henry, which causes the townspeople to wake up. When Winnie kicks Henry off the stage, the townspeople jump on him, and Henry's furious girlfriend tries to attack Winnie. She quickly defends herself and Bernie takes the knife, scaring the bodyguards away. At that moment, Henry regains control of the crowd and returns to the stage, where she tries to choke Winnie. However, Bernie stabs him and kills him for good. As the people return to normal, the aurora begins glowing brighter and Winnie realizes she was sent here to help Bernie get her revenge. Then the girls share a kiss. Winnie opens her eyes to find herself back in her own reality, still dressed in that hideous tracksuit. David tells her that her family has another gift for her, a brand new camera, as she rushes to see them. Winnie gives hugs to everyone and says it's okay that she wasn't accepted to the university since she belongs here. She then dashes outside to visit Robbie and Darla, telling them that they should be together. The ladies are thrilled to discover they both remember the other reality when Winnie eventually arrives at Bernie's house, and they prepare to celebrate Christmas as girlfriends.